Hello everyone, Meta527II here, and I'm bringing you another commentary. If you know me, then you'd know that I love RPGs. But there's one user by the name of RandomDCE, who I don't hate or anything. I think his fan characters are pretty cool. Now, this guy made an RPG review explaining his hatred for RPGs. I respect his opinion, and his video wasn't bad. However, I still want to provide constructive criticism. And yes, I will once again skip copyrighted scenes because I don't want my account banned. Let's get on with the show.
Let's not kid ourselves here. RPGs are boring.
That's your opinion.
The Japanese fascination about underage protagonists on Epic Quest. Dealing with girly men.
As much as I hate to defend Sephiroth, I never thought he looked female. When I first saw him in Kingdom Hearts, I knew he was a man. I hope I never have to defend such an overglorified mama's boy like Sephiroth ever again.
Their own perils of angst and fashion problems. For another epic quest set in ye old medieval England. Now, have you ever found yourself thinking, why not just nut the fucker before he can complete his magical demon summon thing, while stuck in the same tedious turn-based battle you had for taking one step forward? Now, I do admit, only 4 RPGs can contain elements of goodness.
That subtitle you put said that 4% of the RPGs are good. But you said 4 of the RPGs are good. There are like only 100 RPGs in existence, if that's what you're saying. I'm pretty sure there are more than that.
Those being Paper Mario 2, Pokemon, which one? Doesn't really matter, they're all the same thing, Phantasy Star Online, and Fable. So, I offer RPGs and HDG! Yeah, that was sad. To make them playable, enjoyable, and at the end of this video, I offer you 3 ideas if I made an RPG. Better grab those recovery potions, this one's gonna touch a nerve. Step 1. Little less conversation. One of my biggest problems with RPGs, either Western or Japanese, is the game feels more like a storybook. I find myself wafting through page after page of meaningless dialogue and NPC character development that it's pointless.
I agree that it's annoying, but in some games you can skip the dialogue by pressing start, like in the Fire Emblem games. Also in the Kingdom Hearts games you can skip the dialogue using a cheat, except for Kingdom Hearts, where you don't have to press the buttons to read at some points.
All RPGs do this, even the 4 I like.
All RPGs? The original Final Fantasy's cutscenes are 1 dialogue box long. Same for Zelda 2.
To the point, I'd like to take an example from Phantasy Star Online. There is this one mission where you have to collect sweets from the planet Rago. Okay, sounds simple enough. But before I can go murder some mutants and to reach a tasty reward, I have to sit and read a full explanation from my client about how much she loves sweets. After page 3, I put the controller down and said out loud, I don't care. What is the point of all this reading?
I agree that it's annoying, but some of it is to help you.
In my experience, you should only do this much reading if you're in school or a newscaster, and neither of those things should be merged with video gaming, because video games are supposed to be fun! Not reading something that has more dialogue than a play written by William Shakespeare. At least with Fable they put voice acting in so you can listen rather than read. Provided I don't have the same amount of emotions as Microsoft's Sam. Step 2. Turn-based battles. Well, there wouldn't be an RPG without turn-based battles, would it?
Not all RPGs have turn-based battles. Zelda 2, Pokemon Ranger, Kingdom Hearts.
But they are something that need to go. I never understood the point of everyone standing in a straight line and get roasted by a large monster without dodging it. Or how about when they take a large sword, ram it into something, and miss? Turn-based battles are the elements that artificially inflate an RPG to make them longer. Without them and side quests, the entire game would last about 20 minutes.
I think that's why turn-based battles were invented. Without them, the game would be too short.
The only form of turn-based battles I actually had any fun with was the Mega Man Battle Network series. Maybe someone at Capcom had an idea. What if they could dodge? So, the notion of a grid where you can move up and down, back and forth was so clever and inventive. Haha! Go fuck yourself, Final Fantasy!
You can also dodge attacks in the Mario and Luigi RPG games.
But wait, if I made such a nice comment about the Battle Network series, why isn't it in my fave list? Well, because it suffers from the instigation of turn-based battles. The random encounters! There are so many of them that it stopped being funny when you've used all your health potions. You still have 1 HP when you finally confront the boss of the area. Both of these can be explained as thus. Imagine you are in a long hallway. At the end of the hallway is a bedroom leading to a naked man or woman, whichever is your poison.
She doesn't look naked to me. Besides, why would there be a naked woman at the end of the hallway, let alone with the door open so everyone could see her.
Every 2 or 3 steps closer, you're hit in the toe by a mousetrap. You spend 3 minutes rubbing your foot in pain. By the time you reach the door, you're either tired or she's fallen asleep.
You could have included a blindfold into that description because you can simply look down to see what the mousetraps are. Also, they won't be random if they're every 2 or 3 steps away because you'd know where they are.
Step 3. Typical characters. Stop me if you've heard any of these before. A spiky-haired, angst-ridden parasite aged between 12 and 18. A short brown-haired man with a wrestling physique. A male who dresses like a girl and sounds like a pedo. Another teenage thing but has boobs and very little clothing who is around the age of 15. Or a Stallone Schwarzenegger wannabe. The problem I find with any RPG is the characters are all predictable. Final Fantasy is guilty of this. The announcement of a quote-unquote new title offers the same bullshit as the last one, or their continued need to feed the FF7 scumbags by making something else that's connected to the holy grail for the feeble Fantasy 7 fans. Step 4. Adding RPG elements to something doesn't equal good idea. Something that never gets better is the notion of taking a well-established franchise which never had anything to do with rather pointless games and adding those elements to them. Mega Man X was a series I really enjoyed and it didn't have a lot of faults. Then came Command Mission, a game that could have worked better as a side-scroller shooter, which is what Mega Man is all about, not standing around waiting to be shot or doing the shooting. Sonic the Hedgehog seems to be that guy in college who tries to impress you by doing anything or trying everything, so he tries some Chronicles and hopes for a Dark Brotherhood. He seems the only one of my childhood heroes who made a decent RPG was Mario, but then again he's practically been in everything except Super Mario Bros. Finally, Step 5. Playing World of Warcraft doesn't make you cooler than everyone else. This will sound familiar to everyone.
You ever been in college or anywhere in public, and one of your friends begins rambling on about his or her adventures in the World of Warcraft? The stories they tell where he tries to make out like he just won a fist
Satan and fuck Selma Hayek as a victory prize? Here is a pro tip for those people. There is nothing cool about World of Warcraft.
I may not have said anything in 2 minutes, but some people may like World of Warcraft. I will admit I don't find a reason to play it, but the fact that there's nothing cool about World of Warcraft, like I said at the beginning, that's your opinion.
Then again, the same can be said for MySpace, future guy coming soon. Most of these stories use the foreign language of nerd and are hard to try and comprehend, but there are some people who are very obsessive about it. Take this guy I knew once. He was desperate to get me in there. He even demanded I download the free trial thing. He stopped asking me when I offered to upload my foot into his anus region. Well, I would continue here, but the FF7 fans are casting some magic attacks against me. So, here is my ideas for my own RPGs.
I'm just going to stop this right here because there's nothing I have to say in the rest of his part. Besides, he does show a lot of scenes that I don't know if they're copyrighted or not, but I'm not taking my chances. Okay, my final thoughts on this video. I respect your opinion, but some people may find RPGs fun. I don't hate you. I will admit your fan characters are pretty cool, and your rant wasn't half bad. Well, that's the end of the video. See you guys next time.